Welcome to episode 3 of Ripping the Rack podcast. I'm Tim.
I'm Brian.
And we got a pretty good show today. But before we get into kind of our main topics, I'd like to take a few moments and talk a little bit about Memorial Day. It is Memorial Day weekend. For those north of the border, this is one of our major holidays down here in the States. I think this is a very important holiday for us.
I think it's often overlooked as a day that is thanking a veteran. That's Veterans Day in November. This is about the veterans we can't thank physically.
Yep, the ones that gave all, that basically allow us the freedoms that we do have. And frankly, I know we take these freedoms for granted. There's not a lot. I mean, you see it every day on Facebook. You see it every day on Twitter. You see it every day on, basically social media and the news and everything else. And the strife that we're going through in this country, which frankly is stupid. That's the only way I can put it. I'm not a political person. I'll never be a political person. I don't like politics. I don't like the drama that goes with politics. I find politics to be very dirty. I'm sorry. That's just my feeling as a soon-to-be 49-year-old white male and living in the state of Maine. I find politics to be gross and disgusting. And I just think that we've lost a little bit of feeling of what Memorial Day is supposed to be about. My grandparents fought in World War II.
My grandfather was in Korea.
Yep. One of my grandfathers was a Japanese POW throughout the entire World War II. Did the entire March Baton in the Philippines. Loaded on death ships from Philippines up to Tokyo, taken to a prison camp outside of Tokyo. Lived to be an old man in South Paris, Maine, that is, and but it's people like that. It's people, like my other grandfather who never got shipped overseas but still served. It's a time to be reflective, and it's a time to really understand that we are, speaking off the cuff here, we have these freedoms to do what we're doing.
Sit in my basement and record a podcast for everyone else to listen to.
Yep. Because
these veterans who gave everything.
Yeah.
So we can do it. And we remember them on this Monday.
We do. We're taping this on a Sunday. Memorial Day is tomorrow. This podcast will be up Tuesday morning.
So we hope you all enjoyed your holiday with your family and thought about the veterans and loved ones in your family that served, and
understand that we have freedoms to have differing opinions. I kind of chuckled at was on Facebook last night just scrolling through, and I think it was Channel 6 had posted something, I don't know, that Governor Mills had said or done or something like that, and there was just like 400 comments of just people going back and forth arguing with each other, the right against the left against the right, and people just don't realize that it's, what are you arguing for? You're not going to change someone's mind on Facebook. You're not. It's never going to happen. I don't know in the history of evers if someone has changed their mind because someone said, you're a dumb butt. You're an idiot. It's stupid. Anyway.
Be kind, be considerate, and hopefully you all enjoyed your long weekend with your families. And for those not in a country that celebrates Memorial Day, in Canada or something,
or around the world,
other countries, if you're listening,
thank you.
I hope you had a wonderful weekend as well.
Absolutely. So, anyway,
let's talk bowling.
Let's talk bowling, for candlepin bowling for a little bit. Mm-hmm. We're going to focus a little bit on the Great White North.
Oh, Canada.
Let's talk New Brunswick. Let's we did Maine last week, so let's talk New Brunswick.
Bonvenue.
Bonvenue. There's some amazing bowlers in Canada
There are.
and New Brunswick.
And some great houses to bowl in.
There are. Oh, actually, before we talk that, do you want to do listener emails?
Let's do some listener emails, actually.
Let's do. We're gonna answer some questions first. Listener questions that have sent in email address rippingtherackpodcast@gmail.com or through Facebook, Ripping the Rack Podcast.
Or if you're friends with Tim or I, shoot us a personal message as well on Messenger. We can read those questions as well.
So the first question that I have from a listener, it's a really good question, is who are the biggest D-bags in bowling?
Ooh.
So that's a great question. There are some massive D-bags in bowling. So let me just list off a couple here.
Let's see.
Craig Holbrook,
Oh,
massive.
Bobby
Wickham,
Oh,
massive.
Brian Mayer.
Massive. Just kidding. Those are all
Those are great guys.
Those are all great guys.
We're not going to talk that question.
I'm not going to answer that question now. Eventually, I may get into some personalities, different personalities. I guess would be a way to put it. But no, I'm not going to answer that question right now. If you're a D-bag in bowling, you know you're a D-bag in bowling. I guess is the easiest way to put it.
You could. I'm right here. You can just tell me.
Brian is a D-bag.
Sometimes.
Tim's a D-bag sometimes. So first question is, what are your thoughts on the current ICBA and what seems to be a lack of buying from the bowling community? Ooh. Great question. There are times now. I've obviously been involved in bowling for a long time. There are times I think the ICBA is still set in their ways from back in the 80s, 70s, 80s, whatever. I don't think it's very bowler oriented.
They do a lot of promotion for the game.
Really?
They were for a while. I can remember a couple ICBA championships. I remember them because I went and watched Mark Carrier bowl in them.
Yeah.
And they had a representative there, a young woman. I can't remember her name off the top of my head, but she was trying to do stuff with the PBA when they came up to Portland, to Bayside, and they were doing a little bit more pushing of the game. I know Mark, I think that's the one that Mark won, and he ended up going to the Pro Tour, the PBA event.
PBA, yes, because
meeting Steve Belmonte and
Jason Belmonte.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. I remember that. I just don't know. There has to be a better way that we can promote this game. There has to be. And I'll give you, one example is the ICBA Hall of Fame, which, by the way, they are accepting nominations. I went online. It's kind of...
You're not old enough yet, Tim.
Not me. I went on for my sister. Thank you very much. But if you want to nominate me, I am available for nomination. Just kidding, folks. Relax. I question why they're waiting so long in between.
I think it's
periods.
a good idea this year, given the...
It's not being done until 2022. It's going to be something like 6 years between the last one and now. I think it should be every 2 years. I do. I don't care if you only induct 2 or 3 people. But when you wait 6 years in between, there are chances that people that are getting up in age
won't have that physical opportunity.
Won't have the opportunity to accept
themselves
to get in. And I don't know about the lack of buy-in from the bowling community. I just think that I think
we have a case at Oakland Park that is very similar. Jason's house doesn't meet ICBA sanctions.
Mm-hmm.
We have flat gutters, and we don't have foul lights or overhead scoring. But let's face it, flat gutters help everybody. Honestly, if someone's going to bowl on them,
I don't know if they're truly flat, but they're not to the required depth.
Right.
The minimum
there's
required
a lip
depth.
there. Yeah, there's a lip.
Jason and I, and I'm sorry to interrupt, but you just brought up a great point. Jason and I had a discussion recently about this, and he had 45 or 50 youth bowlers that wanted to bowl in the state tournaments. And Jason went and said, hey, I've got 45 or 50 youth bowlers that we'd like to send to bowl. And they said no, because he wasn't a part of the association. And it just boggles my mind that they will cut their nose off to spite their face. I understand they want people to join.
We could send a lot of people, too, in the APHs.
Yep.
The handicap portions of those guys that are good league bowlers
It's money.
that follow the rules.
It's money. It's money coming to the house. For example, let's say there's a tournament at 1710 in Augusta. Okay? And Jason wanted to send, let's say it was a youth tournament. Jason had 50 youth bowlers. You've just turned away 50 kids from bowling because they bowl in a house that's not sanctioned by your Maine State Candlepin Bowling Proprietors Association. Okay? That to me is crazy. What is it? It's scratch bowling. What does it matter where you bowl?
Yeah.
I want to give you my $50. I want to give you my $100. I want to come bowl.
At that point, kids aren't sandbagging. They're not.
It's scratch. It's
they're
not
trying their
handicap.
hardest every ball. Yeah.
So to me, it just, and once you establish a state handicap, a state average, what does it matter where you bowl?
I agree.
So it is, and then the next question on top of that was, what direction do you see sanctioned bowling and record keeping going? I'm at the point right now where records are records. They're important. It's good to have them. Records are made to be broken, except mine. I hope mine don't get broken.
Let's face it. It doesn't matter where you bowl. You throw a 200 string.
It's a 200.
Yeah.
I don't care if you have flat gutters or not. A 200 is a 200.
You don't
regardless.
throw a 200 by oops. I got 200.
Right. You don't.
You can't throw a 200 in a tough house without some lucky breaks.
That is correct. I would like to see them. I'd love to see Canada be part of the association if they have an association, continuing on or whatnot. I would love to see these houses.
They have a very, very well organized AYB program in Canada.
Oh, it's fantastic. I talked to a bunch of people last at the Moncton 560 about it. It's impressive.
It is
what they have. And the last question that this person had was, is it time for bowlers to have its own association or record keeping format, maybe something similar to the golf GIN system, which is really kind of cool. Brian and I have had this conversation.
Yeah.
It would be cool.
It would be interesting to set up, to rate different alleys. And for those of you that don't know, GIN is a golf handicap system that is adjusted, not a lot, but it's adjusted based on where you play your round. You have your base handicap, but it can fluctuate a little bit depending on how hard the course you're playing is.
Correct. So if you went to, for example, if I was at Newport in Maine, which is considered a faster house, versus someone that would bowl at Westport down in Westbrook, which is considered a tough house, you would have a system, a handicap system in place where you can go and it would be a fair handicap for the house that you're bowling in.
I think it's a wonderful concept. I think it's very hard to implement.
Oh, it'd be incredibly difficult to implement. But if
you have to do it plus or minus maybe one, maximum 5 pins. I don't know if any house is more than 5 pins a string faster than anywhere else.
Ooh, I don't know. Newport and Westport.
That might be 10.
That'd be.
You're talking I like somebody 120 bowling a 110.
And I like bowling in both places. They can be, let's face it, Newport can be a faster house and Westport is tough.
But I think it's also the difference age.
Yep.
Equipment.
Yep.
I mean, Newport is synthetic and Westport is, I think, some of the maple that came over on the Mayflower. I think. But it's well maintained.
It is. Rose has done a really good job down there.
I first time I bowled there, honestly, was this year in the once a month league.
Yep.
And yeah, it's frustrating. If you're not hitting the head pin, it's not fun.
Yeah, it is. It can be very frustrating. The last question, and we'll spend a little bit of time probably on a later podcast about this, but I did want to address it was, we had a listener that wanted to know about some of the houses that have closed, and talk a little bit about, where you've bowled that might have, that might be closed now. And the ones that come to my mind real quickly would be, Pittsfield, Maine,
Vacation Land.
Sessa's place in Pittsfield, Vacation Land. You've got Tri-Town Lanes in Jay. You've got Rocket Lanes in Dover.
Pins and Cues in Millinocket.
I never bowled there.
I bowled there once.
Yeah. There's I can't think of the name of it right off the top of my head.
Bucksport Lanes.
In Lincoln. Well, Lincoln had the fastest house I've ever bowled in.
Was that the one that was upstairs and downstairs?
Nope.
Oh.
I don't think so. I don't remember. It's been a long
okay.
time.
Okay.
It's been a long, man, but it was fast. And it was fun. I'm not going to lie. It was fun. And then you had Rollaway Lanes in Biddeford.
Gardner, Lucky Strike. I miss that place.
I miss that place.
And then you have
10 lanes of fun.
You have some famous bowling alleys in Massachusetts that are closed.
Pilgrim
Lanes.
Pilgrim. I mean, it's so there are a lot out there, and we'll focus on another podcast about this. But I did want to bring it up that we got your question. I heard it. We're going to address it.
It's going to be its own segment, I believe.
Yeah, I think it would be a nice segment to have.
Yeah.
So let's get into New Brunswick bowlers.
Eh?
What do you say there, boy? What do you think, Brian? Give me some of your list there. Tell me what you got.
Well, I have now again when we're talking all time, Tim and I's lists differ because Tim is seasoned, as I said last week, so he's seen more bowling than me.
I'm like a fine wine.
But
I get
real
better with
quickly,
age.
I go to New Brunswick a little more frequently, I think, than most. I don't even say bowlers do, but my in-laws, my mother-in-law is from New Brunswick, over on Camp Bello Island. So we go and we have a camp down east. So we'll take the trip up and go to St. Stephen, and go shopping and stuff.
Yep.
And so we go. I'm in Canada 4 or 5 times a year, and I have bowled in Canada a lot, and I enjoy it up there. And from what I've seen in that time. Still, even though I haven't seen him bowl a whole lot, my number one is Tony LeBlanc. From what I've heard, Tony was an absolute machine.
Tony was fun. Tony was fun to watch. And spoiler alert, he's my number one as well. I first started bowling the Worlds in '92, and that was in Bangor, and then the next year was at Hanwell in Fredericton. Tony was that was Tony's prime back in the
prime
mid-90s.
bowling or prime partying.
Yes,
they went hand in hand from what
they did. And Tony's still, he's back bowling again. I had a great conversation with him up at the Moncton 560.
He can still go too from time to time.
From time to time, he's one
of those guys. He ain't as good as he once was, but he'll catch you.
You definitely. What do you got number 2?
Number 2, I have Brian Bernatchez.
Ooh.
Or as I call him, the master of reading a deadwood shot. Brian will tell you how to play any wood, and 99% of the time, he right.
Yeah.
And he's just steady. And great stories. I made a shot against him in the Can-Am in a playoff match. I missed it by like a foot, and it went. And I just hear him mumbling to himself in French. And I could tell he wasn't quite happy with how that went.
So obviously I've known Brian a long time as well. Bowled against him.
Amazing bowler.
It was funny. 3 years in a row, we got matched up in the World Singles in the first round. 3 years in a row.
Was one of those years the years we had 3 first rounds up in Fredericton that first year?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. So the first year I bowled him, I threw 8 marks in a row to start. And, he said good game. Nothing else he could say. I think I threw like a 170 at him or something like that. And the next year we get matched up again, and I just, we shook hands. And again, known Brian a long time, I just looked and I kind of chuckled and said, I really hope you have a short memory and do not remember last year. And he laughed. And he looked and he goes, I remember. And I went, shit. And he proceeded to start out the string, like, I think he went something like strike, spare, spare, something like that. And I just wondered if I should just pick up my bowling balls now because I was down like 50 after the half. It was like I don't know, upper 90s or a low 100 half at me. And
Yeah.
I think he ended up with like a 160, 170, somewhere in that range again. And he kind of looked and we laughed. He was like, I got your back type thing. And then the next year after that, we got paired up again, and we both just shook our heads and was whatever. And I don't remember, honestly, I don't remember who won that one. It wasn't anything noteworthy. It was just kind of, but no, that's a good choice.
My number 3, younger guy, but pound for pound, I feel right now, he's my number 1 current New Brunswick bowler, Corey Smith, and one of the nicest guys too to talk to.
I hate Corey.
Not a fan of Corey?
Corey, he sucks. Just kidding. I love Corey.
Yeah.
No, and I was really looking forward to bowling obviously the Mixed Worlds was supposed to be in June. Supposed to be in Bangor this year, and we had picked up Corey for this year, and I was really looking forward to bowling with him instead of against him.
That's always more fun is to bowl with Corey.
Oh my God! No, Corey's a great bowler. He's super steady. Like he doesn't get too high, he doesn't get too low. He just very self-depreciating.
Makes a lot of shots.
Yeah.
Moving forward, my number 4, Donnie Ferris from St. John.
Oh, I forgot about Donnie.
Donnie he still throws the ball just as hard as I think he ever did. And his approach, for those who haven't seen Donnie bowl, he takes 3 pretty decent steps, and then by the time he throws the ball, his right shoulder's almost on the floor. He finishes on a knee, and he throws a spin ball right to left. And he had a 200, and he had a pretty decent 200 string in Fredericton one year in the provincials.
Yeah.
From what I've heard.
Yeah.
But Donnie's super nice guy. When I first started bowling the Can-Am, he threw something like 160 against me, like my 3rd string ever in the Can-Am.
Well,
that
was nice of him.
Well, that was fun. He knocked me out of the playoffs the first year we made it.
Yeah.
So I got to know Donnie, and he's just a great dude. He's so fun to bowl with and a competitor, but we'll shake your hand, and if he gets beat, he gets beat.
Yep.
He doesn't say, oh, well, you this happened. No. If you beat Donnie, you beat him, and he'll just try harder next time.
Yep.
And then my number 5, just from what I've seen and what I've heard, and being pretty good friends with Robbie Hopper, is Kenny Hopper. From what I've seen, Kenny, and I haven't seen anybody else. He was on that 93 team.
Yep.
And I know he didn't play a super prominent role from the averages, at least how they look. But
still played a role.
Oh, yeah. And I just, and him to still bowl as well as he did. He bowled the 560 this year, I believe. Or he bowled a couple of years ago in the 560 and still bowled pretty well. He averages high 1-teens.
Yep. Good bowler.
Yeah.
I didn't know Kenny all that well, but very, very steady, very good bowler.
Yeah, I get delved in my basement at night after Colin goes to sleep and Kelly goes to bed. I come down here and I just delve into YouTube videos and just watch all these older matches and just thinking, wow, the equipment is much different and they're still that good.
They're good. They were good.
Yeah.
So my all-time New Brunswick bowlers, number 1, I have Tony LeBlanc. I mean, I could say more about Tony, but he's Tony. He's Tony. Number 2, I had is Hal Peterson. I saw Hal bowl in the early 90s, obviously, with the Worlds and things like that. And that was back when I was kind of looking up to everybody. Well, newsflash, I'm short. I look up to everybody. But from a bowling standpoint, I love to watch good bowling. So I'd watch him. Number 3 I have is Brian Bernatchez. Number 4, I have Corey Smith. And number 5, I have Bob Duthright. Bob was on that 93 team. Again, not a bowler that I knew well, but just really steady, just threw a nice ball. And then I kind of had some honorable mention type folks here, like Lauren Chesser, Kenny Hopper, Matt Cormier, Bob Vitale. I struggle with. I have Chris McGrady in here, but I don't know if Christmas McGrady is.
Santa McGrady?
Santa McGrady. I don't know if Chris is Nova Scotian or New Brunswick or
if he's finished bowling.
Or if he's finished bowling, or
I meant his approach.
No, he's still on the first box. Sorry, Chris. And then I'll jump into current, kind of some current New Brunswick bowlers. Again, this is men at the moment. I have Corey Smith, and I'm not going to put these in any order.
Yeah.
Corey Smith, Calvin Locke.
Really, Calvin?
I love Calvin. I know Calvin is Calvin, but
and Calvin's listening.
And Calvin's listening, and I'll say it. The one thing I really like about Calvin, besides the fact that he's a hell of a bowler, is he just honestly he doesn't give a shit what people think about him. He's Calvin.
You like Calvin. You like Calvin. You don't.
No, you don't. And I appreciate that. I do. Calvin knows what Calvin's like, but Calvin loves the game of bowling.
Oh yes, he does. And he's damn good at it.
He's good at it. I mean, his pool that he does for the men's worlds
is so great.
I love that pool because he breaks it out and he adds people in. The groups are great. Granted, he usually has me in the midget division, but that's okay. I'm usually there with Pelletier and Freshie and a couple other shorter of stature guys. I have Scott Estabrook, Matt Cormier, Trevor Smith. And then, I'm going to add a bunch of guys here as well. Adam Melanson, Justin Jones, Jamie Boyle,
Chris Ryder.
I do have Chris, Brent Roberts, Eric McGuigan, Tommy Wood.
Jarrett Wood.
Jarrett. I forgot about Jarrett. And I got Mike Hall on here as well. But again, he's another one that I don't know if he's Nova Scotian, New Brunswickian, Cape Breton-y. I don't know.
I know he's currently, I think, over in the Nova Scotian area doing. Have you heard him play his music? Seen some of those stuff?
Dude's fantastic.
Oh, so awesome to watch.
He can play the fiddle.
Yes, he can.
Man, he's good. Mm-hmm. He's really good.
And a good bowler.
He is. Mike and I have had some really good matches. I've got a lot of respect for Mike.
What I like about Mike is a fierce competitor.
Yes.
And if you don't understand Mike and you watch him, you think he is angry at everything when he doesn't make a shot. Mike's only mad at himself. You might as well be invisible to Mike while you're bowling him.
Yes.
As long as you don't cut him off, he's fine.
Yep. Yeah, but Mike and I have never, ever had an issue bowling. Or on the lanes or off the lanes. Mike is another one that Mike's going to tell you what he thinks.
Mm-hmm.
He's not shy
He
about...
did a few Facebook Live videos a couple years ago about the state of bowling.
Yep. Again, he's not shy about it. What do you got for kind of...
You touched on a lot of mine. I think one of my favorite guys to bowl against, and I don't know if it's because we're just both giant guys, but I love bowling against Scott. Scott is so much fun. Because he's another one, like, he if you miss a shot and make it, he'll still call you a donkey. Like, yeah, nice shot, but you missed it by 4.5 feet.
Scott's a good shit. I like Scott. He's like 7'5", and I'm 5'5", so he's I don't know if he's 7'5", but he looks like it to me.
I mean, it looks like that scene in Kindergarten Cop where Schwarzenegger picks that kid up by the overalls.
That's me.
I think if you had overalls on, Scott could do that to you.
I think he could. But a hell of a competitor and so fun to bowl against. Yeah. How about women? How about women New Brunswick bowlers?
Jill Wood.
Jill's terrible. She's terrible. Oh my God, she's so past her prime. I'm only saying this because I'm 500 miles away from her, and she's not going to throw something at me right now. No, Jill's tremendous. Tasha's
okay. Let's team meeting.
Team meeting.
Yeah.
Yes. The team meeting of team meeting. So I will tell you, and I will say it here. There are 3 people right now that I think you can argue as being the best female bowlers in the world right now. Actually, 4. There's 4 bowlers. You got Amanda Carroll from Maine,
mm-hmm.
Maddie Kelly from Massachusetts,
mm-hmm.
Jill Wood, and Tasha Murray.
I think we need to throw Brooke in there as well from Maine.
I'd put Brooke in as top 5.
Yep.
Okay. I would like to see those 5 in a 10-string match, winner take all, beat down each other.
Just 10 strings. Heads up.
Divas match. Come off the top rope and everything. I want to see it.
That'd be fun. I'd watch that.
That'd be a great match.
That'd be really good bowling.
Oh my God, that'd be. I do think. I think Jill, Maddie, and Amanda, and Tasha. I mean, you can argue any of them as being the best female bowler right now.
Yeah,
and you wouldn't be wrong with any of them.
And then you have in New Brunswick, past. I know she doesn't bowl anymore or as much, but Kelly Stoyles.
Oh, Kelly was amazing.
She averaged 130 one year in the mixed worlds, didn't she?
I don't know if it was 130, but it was close. Might have been down at Park Place, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Kelly was, Kelly was fun to watch. She was.
Yep.
She was
Steady.
fun to watch. Oh my God, just smooth, smooth. Just
You'd never heard the ball hit.
nope.
Few more. You have Sheena Rogers.
Yep.
Sheena's a great bowler. Christina Kingston from St. John.
Yep.
Younger, but throws a great ball.
Lefty, isn't she? She a lefty?
No,
Is
no,
Christina
she's
left?
right. I
thought she
think
was
her mom Elaine's left-handed.
I thought Christina was left-handed.
Might be. Yeah.
I thought she was a lefty.
Okay.
Throws a hard ball.
Yeah.
Am I wrong? Am I right?
You're always right, Tim.
Hold on.
I've learned that about
Hold
you.
on. Could you say that again, please, for the listeners?
For the listeners or for Angie?
For the listeners and my beautiful wife, Angie?
You're right. I was mistaken.
Thank you.
Continue.
Continue.
Oh, all exalted one, Tim.
How about Tanya Ritchie?
Another great bowler.
Yeah, I got her on my list here as well.
Rachel LeBlanc.
Rachel,
A lot of fun to bowl.
man, she's fun.
Yeah.
Rachel's a lot of fun. She's never drinking again.
Every
weekend, I'm never drinking again.
And then you have Giselle, who's on that team meeting team as well.
Yep.
She threw, I think, 1 year in the Can-Am. We needed to get the last 2 to get in, as we always do, the last string. And we're bowling her and Tommy, and my thoughts of making the playoffs were over after the 3 boxes when she threw a triple. And I was like, okay, well, going home.
That was fun.
Yep. Yeah, but those are some of the, I think, more prominent female bowlers and some of the best.
Yeah.
And, what about tournaments in Canada?
So
They have a lot of tournaments.
They have a
in
ton
Canada.
of tournaments in Canada. But you'll notice that their tournaments are all team related.
Which I love.
That's really cool.
The
it is.
560, the Dave Stewart,
Yep.
the Alpine,
Yep.
which is kind of a provincial style zoned tournament. A lot of the tournaments are zoned too, which is an interesting concept.
Yeah. Yeah, they got that. You've got a lot of the smaller. I'm going to call it smaller tournaments, meaning they're not like the mixed worlds or the worlds or the provincials. Nova Scotia has a bunch as well, which we'll talk to them
mixed and stuff like
and
that.
We'll talk about them at a later podcast. As far as New Brunswick goes, and they've lost a few houses up there as well. It's got some great places to bowl though. Now for me, I don't bowl a lot up there. The Can-Am in June. Newsflash, I still don't have a spot. Hopefully, maybe next one I could get on. Maybe, possibly, someone might either need a bowler or maybe I can actually have a spot, which would be cool.
Or want to bowl with you
all
weekend.
Well, let's face it, no one wants to bowl with me all weekend. Maybe for a day, but let's be real. St. John is a fun place. They got a couple of places to bowl.
Fairview,
there.
right? That's
yes,
where we have the Can-Am now.
Yep. See, when I first bowled the Can-Am, it was, I don't even remember the name of the house, but it was down past the, I don't know, I can only remember
down
the
past
outside.
The Colonial, right?
Yeah.
And it was on the second floor.
Yeah, and it was like
there's no AC.
Oh my God. No, but man, that place was fun to bowl.
Yep. I first started bowling when it was the Bowlerama.
Across the river.
I love the Bowlerama.
Yeah, Bowlerama was fun.
Yeah, it was.
The cool thing about,
I believe they call that the West Side.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. So where is it now? What's the name of it again?
Fairview.
Fairview.
Riverview is up next to Moncton
Oh,
Fairlanes.
that's right. I get too many views. So Fairview, that's the first time I'd ever bowled in a place where they played music in between the matches, which was actually fun.
And they have couch seating on the end lanes, which,
Yes.
I mean, not many people like the end lanes anyways. One
Right.
and two, and the last two are usually next to a wall and have all kinds of problems. But they put couches there, so it's all good.
It's all good.
And great food.
Oh, really good food. Really good food.
Kingswood. I saw
Kingswood.
something that when they're reopening, Corey Smith had posted something on Facebook.
Stay tuned.
Yes. They're gonna...
Hopefully soon that they'll be. So Kingswood's really a cool place to bowl just because it's got so many different. There's so much room for activities. I don't know how many lanes they got because they used to have 30 plus.
Yeah.
And they took some out. I don't know if they've got 24 or if they're down to 20. I don't know.
I don't know. I know they can't, for some reason, host the Worlds anymore, so I expect they have less than 24.
I don't know. I'm not sure. I haven't bowled there for a couple of years. Moncton obviously has a couple of places. You got Fairlanes, which is 36 lane house. Great people.
Oh, Brandon does a good job.
Brandon does a great job running that.
Yes.
Got a lot of
food's
respect.
good.
Yep.
The drinks are great.
Yep.
Great atmosphere.
And then of course you got Riverview. I've never bowled.
I've never bowled at Riverview.
No.
I know some fast scores out of Riverview.
Yep.
That's where Calvin bowls, I think.
Calvin sucks.
So, if Calvin bowls there, who wants to bowl there?
Yeah, who'd want to bowl there? God. So real quick.
Oh, you have Woodstock Bowl Cave.
Oh,
with
my
BJ
God.
Hamilton.
Sorry, BJ.
Yeah.
I forgot about. Ooh. Never bowled there, but he does a great job promoting that place.
Yes, he does.
He's all over Facebook, really promoting the game and really promoting his house.
Yeah.
So, sorry, BJ, almost dropped the ball on that one.
And Miramichi.
Yeah.
They bring a team down for the 560 every year. Corey Jones, Tasha Bowls up there now.
Yeah.
A lot of great houses.
Yep. A lot of fun up there. Real quick, I did want to bring up 1993 Worlds, the Hanwell team, the home team. Lanes aren't there anymore, but the home team they put together. They got tired of
Margam Supply.
Yeah,
winning.
They got tired of the USA winning, and so they put together this team. And I just wanted to go over real quickly. This was their starting lineup in the final. Okay, the final match against New Hampshire All-Stars. So you had Tony LeBlanc leading off with a 137 average for the tournament.
And didn't win high average.
You had Bob Duthright bowling second with a 130 average. He had the high triple for the tournament with a 499. You had Claude Chevery bowling third with a 127 average. You had Kansas Snow bowling fourth, who was I believe he won the high average at 137. And then you had Hal Peterson with a 135. You had four guys averaging 130 plus. And your fifth guy was a 127. And off the bench, by the way, you had Gary Gallant at a 125, Kenny Hopper at a 122, and Wayne Jones at a 120. And if I'm not mistaken, they only lost one or two strings all week.
Not matches.
Strings.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's pretty dominant.
They were amazing that day. Just unbelievable.
No one's ever swept. Like, no one's ever gone perfect in the Worlds.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
No, not that I know of.
I know there's been some under 10s.
Yep.
Under 10 loss years.
Yeah.
Or 10 points. I've only, speaking New Brunswick and Kelly Stoyles, who we talked about, her and Brian McLaughlin are the only team I've seen go undefeated in the Can-Am. They won every match. They won the playoffs.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. And they were both about 127 together.
That's okay.
Yeah, that'll win you some strings.
That'll win a few strings. But again, the one thing I really like about bowling up with our friends up north, and you've heard this probably as a common theme over the first couple of episodes here, is the quality of people.
They're just so nice, eh?
What a boy there. What a pill you're throwing there, boy. Just they are, have some of the nicest people that bowl that kick your ass.
Oh yes. Yep.
But they smile and
they'll smile and laugh with you and have fun and you're down 40 pins before you know it.
Right. But no, they
do a lot for the game.
They do.
They really do.
Yep.
They have a strong youth program in Canada, both provinces.
Yes.
So strong.
And we need it. We need
yes.
We need the youth bowlers. There's no doubt about it. It's something that we definitely need. Careful over there.
Yeah, no, it's okay. I promise I won't break my mic again.
Sorry.
Funny take. My mic stand broke in half before we started filming. Yeah, before we started recording.
Before we started filming.
Yeah.
This is we're doing a 10-part documentary, just like Michael Jordan.
Instead of the last dance, ours is going to be called the extremely slow dance. But getting into that,
God.
Tim, wrapping up bowling. Anything else you want to say about Canada and the province of New Brunswick?
No, look, I hope you guys are all doing well. I hope everyone is staying safe and staying healthy.
By the way, bravo, New Brunswick,
for
your handling of the COVID crisis.
Wow. I mean,
it's a template of what you should follow.
Yes. Yeah.
I know not everyone agrees with how everything's proceeding now, but from the medical standpoint of what you guys have done and how you've handled the outbreak, bravo.
Absolutely. Just we'll see you guys soon.
Yes.
We will.
Hopefully in November.
We got a long way to go.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope no decisions are being made now because, frankly, I think they're looking
too soon.
I think you're looking to open the border. I think they're talking end of June. If I'm not mistaken, it was end of June. I just don't make any decisions about the Worlds until September, at least.
Yes.
I just we'll see you guys soon.
Yes.
So, the one thing as we transition from bowling to kind of whatever else is on our mind, as we start
what's fondling our brains this week.
Ooh,
I want to name it. That's what I want to call the back half. Is what's fondling our brains.
What's fondling our brains? I can't even say it
without laughing.
Because I'm 5 and I have a juvenile sense of humor.
And your favorite number is 69.
Oh my God! Don't get me going. By the way, Danny Finn, fantastic job with this bracket stuff that you've done on Facebook, man. This has been so much fun and in something that we've needed. But I busted out laughing, literally, and I had to send a Snapchat.
Because you won with 69 votes.
And I had to send a Snapchat to my friends
and the guy you beat, Evan.
And I beat Evan, which it's really kind of cool. It's just a neat concept. I understand it's people are, there's two ways of looking at it. Some people are looking at it as a popularity contest. Other people are truly looking at it as if you had so and so in their prime versus so and so in their prime, which I've looked at it that way. I have as well. I've done the prime versus prime. Granted, Evan hasn't reached his prime yet. Hopefully, he hasn't reached his prime. Because if he is, man, that's a quick prime, buddy.
Quick, man.
That's a quick prime. But no, Danny Finn, great job, man. It's been a lot of fun on Candlepin Chat on Facebook. Reading some of the fun facts. Seeing some of the
facts. We're using facts.
Facts. We use some facts. Facts. FAX. FAX. Isn't that how you spell facts?
I don't know. I don't think anybody remembers what a fax machine is anymore.
I don't know. I'm old. I remember. So as we kind of transition, as we transition out of bowling into kind of fondling our brain, I did want to. I'm going to do something that's unprecedented in the history of evers of this podcast. Unprecedented right now. I'm going to give a shout out to a local business. So, Mark Carrier at Drywall Concepts. 27 Booth Bay Road, Edgecombe, Maine, 04556. Phone number of 207-592-6125. Give him a call for your drywall needs.
Follow him on Facebook. He posts pictures of his jobs that he does. Fantastic work.
That's for your generous donation, Mark, to keep this podcast running. Generous donation of nothing. This is a free plug for you, buddy.
And we're going to do this every week.
We are.
Yeah, we're going to...
as
small businesses, bowlers and non-bowlers alike.
Yep. Friends of the show.
Yes.
Things like that. Something we want to do just because we're coming out of this stuff, this pandemic, and, small businesses are the backbone of the United States. It's not Walmart. It's not Amazon. It's small businesses. And, Mark, you got just happened to get the luck of the draw. So again, for your drywall needs, new construction, old construction,
I think he
renovations.
does painting as well. Painting and mudding, patching.
Yep, painting, mudding, patching.
Call Drywall Concepts.
Call him. He'll tell you if he can do it or not. Located again, Midcoast, Maine, but as far as I know, he does go down
Portland area.
Does come up Midcoast area, Rockland, Camden,
Augusta,
does a great job. I've seen his work. He does a fantastic job. So give Mark a call at Drywall Concepts. 592-6125. Again, that number for your listening pleasure. Area code 207-592-6125. All right, Brian, what's fondling your brain?
Well, golf's back. I don't know if you watched the match last week.
Golf.
The Skins.
I did not.
It was really cool.
I forgot about it.
I watched the last 5 holes because honestly I forgot too. But it was fun to watch golf again, and it was cool to see them in shorts and lugging their own bags.
Oh, they were lugging their own bags?
Yeah, no caddies.
Oh, that's cool.
And I'll tell you what, it certainly wasn't the giant tour bags that they have normally.
Amazing, huh?
But Tiger and Phil.
The plan is for me to watch that today. I was looking forward to...
Who are you rooting for?
This is hard. It's a tough one because...
They didn't put Tiger and Tom together.
They didn't put the two T's together. And I'm a Tiger fan. I have been a Tiger fan since he came on tour.
He got me to play golf.
Newsflash, I don't care what he did off the course. He didn't kill anyone. Nope. Didn't rape anyone.
He's not saying he condones it.
I don't condone it. I don't care. I don't look up to him on a pedestal, and he's not a hero of mine. I don't have sports figures as my hero.
You're of the Charles Barkley mindset then. I am not a role model. You remember that
Yes.
from back in the day, the early 90s?
I don't understand why people put
There
athletes...
are some that can be role models.
Yes, and I'm not saying that. Bill Russell is a role model.
Jackie Robinson
was a role model. Tiger Woods is not a role model.
He's a great golfer.
Great golfer. Did a great things for the game.
Did a lot, yes, for the game and the junior golfing.
So I am a Tiger fan. Like I was a Jack fan. I'm a Tiger fan. Don't ask me to name my favorite because 2 different eras, and I was younger when Jack was when he finally when he won his last Masters in '86. I was only 15. So Jack got me into the game.
Mm-hmm.
Tiger keeps me in the game.
My uncle watched golf.
Yep.
When I was a kid, and I hated it because I knew Saturday and Sunday I couldn't watch TV because golf was on.
Yep.
And then Tiger Woods in the '97 Masters happened, and I was out in my backyard hitting golf balls. And I love golf.
I love golf.
I just regret my golf clubs.
Yes, you did. You did a great job too. They look awesome.
For anybody out there looking for new golf grips, Champsky grips, they're almost identical to Golf Pride and a third of the price.
Wow.
They're great.
Yeah. I grew up golfing. I think I was like 8 years old, somewhere in that 8-9 range when I started playing. Played through high school.
You were good in high school.
Well, I wasn't.
You were single digit.
I was single digit, but I wasn't anywhere close to the best on my team. Dan Ladd was the best on our team. He was a year behind me in school.
Yeah, but he played pro or
he went
down.
to University of Virginia on a golf scholarship.
That's not bad.
Division I school golf scholarship. And I grew up with Dan. Dan lived down the street from me, so I grew up. He was also Mr. Baseball for the state of Maine his senior year, and he was
just one of those guys, huh?
Runner-up for Mr. Basketball.
Yeah. Athlete.
and a tremendously nice guy.
Hand-eye.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, I don't know how it's 6'2", 6'3", whatever.
Probably
he
could have
was.
bowled well if he wanted to.
Probably used to, you know. But again, he grew up a driver, pitch, and wedge away from me. Not that we ever tried it because it would have been down the street, but that was about what we estimated would have been about a driver, pitch, and wedge. Spent a lot of time at their house, but no, I grew up golfing. Loved the game of golf. You know, was really good at golf for a long time, and now I don't get angry anymore. I don't throw clubs. I don't do anything. I go out and enjoy my time.
You play with Jordan a lot, your son, so
try.
that must be good.
It's fun. Oh my! You'll wait till Colin gets older and you can go do that.
Spoiler alert: Colin already has a junior set of clubs.
Good for him.
Yep.
I completely forgot where we're going. So I don't know who I'm rooting for today, just because, you know, Tom Brady obviously is my favorite football player, as he should be, because greatest quarterback of all time. Yes, he is the greatest quarterback of all time. Don't give me the look. You're giving me the look.
You know my thoughts on Tom Brady.
Yeah, he's the greatest of all time.
No. Joe Montana is the greatest. Tom Brady's very good.
Oh, cut it out.
I want to see what he does in Tampa.
He's 40.
He can put
old. 44.
How old was Joe Montana when he went to
30s?
Really?
I don't think he was 40.
I think it was late 30s.
I don't care. He's still younger.
What has been my main gripe with Tom Brady ever since we've talked about this?
That he's better?
No, that he's the product of a system.
Every quarterback is a product of a system. Joe Montana was a product of the West Coast system. Joe Montana also
What was
had...
Trent Dilfer's system when they won the Super Bowl?
Okay.
What offensive system?
What about
Trent...
Hostetler what was his system? It was called the defense. Anyway, every quarterback is a product of a system.
Yeah, I know. They do have... They tailor playbooks to them.
They do.
I just think Bill Belichick was a massive enhancement to Tom Brady's ability to be Tom Brady.
But Bill Belichick
is the greatest coach of all time.
Is a defensive coach. He's a defensive genius.
But somehow
Josh McDaniels is an offensive genius,
but Josh McDaniels went away for a time, and Tom Brady was still as good.
Right, because Tom Brady is Tom Brady. Tom Brady.
Because Bill Belichick was
Tom
I'm just
Brady.
saying this year in Tampa is going to be interesting because Julian Edelman will soon be a Tampa Bay Buccaneer in a couple of years.
Tom Brady. Best ever.
All right.
Okay.
I'm rooting for Dad Bod Phil. I want Phil to win because I think Phil is great. He goes out there. Have you seen the sound bites?
Oh,
There's
yeah.
a Facebook video, and it's all these best sound bites of Phil. And one of them is he hits a shot, and this guy in the crowd's like, "Booyaka!" And he goes, "Calm down. It was a 3-iron."
No, Phil's... Look,
He's just
I am a
goofy,
fan.
and I want to see him win.
I am a fan of... I like Phil Mickelson.
I would love to have 2 hours with Phil Mickelson around a green with nothing but a wedge in my hand.
Oh, my God.
And just let him show me stuff.
He is a master with that wedge. Master.
You mean the 4 or 5 he carries in his bag?
Yeah. You know, but those guys play a totally different game than we do.
Yeah.
They do. And you'll see it today with Manning and Brady, because they're good golfers.
Are they hitting from the tips with them, or are they hitting from the whites?
I don't know. They're good golfers. From my understanding, both Manning and Brady, Manning's like around a 5 or a 6 handicap, and
Tom's like an 8 or a 9.
Like an 8 or a 9. So you will see a huge difference between a tour
and
pro,
distance,
between a tour pro and a good golfer. And so no, I'm looking forward to watching it. What else is fondling?
I wanted to talk
fondling
movies.
Your brain.
We both like movies a lot. I mean, let's face it, we're both entertainment junkies. We want something to keep us entertained. So I just want to talk about some of your favorite movies, what you think. I mean, my all-time favorite movie, and I will say this, is Goodfellas.
Love Goodfellas.
It has arguably tied with Full Metal Jacket for the best opening monologue of a movie.
I don't, and that's here's the thing.
The whole thing about when he's growing up and he's like, one day the kids carried my mother's groceries up to the house just because of who I was and the respect. Like,
no, it is. It's a great opening, and I love Goodfellas. That is one of my favorite movies.
Scorsese in general.
I can. It's one of those movies that I can rewatch over and over again, which to me is the mark of a good movie.
Ray Liotta, Al Pacino,
Yeah.
Robert De Niro, just
No, it's a fantastic movie. But there is no better opening to a movie than Full Metal Jacket. There isn't. I'm
Touché.
sorry, but that 15 minutes of Full Metal Jacket makes the whole movie.
yeah, it does set a tone.
And the fact that was all ad-libbed is even better. I mean, the fact that well, and it helped that he was a gunnery sergeant to
Yes.
begin with. So he already, and a drill instructor. So he already had a lot of that stuff down.
I mean, Goodfellas, like you said, is one of those movies. Every time it's on, you want to watch it. And a movie for me that when I go by it, I stop and it consumes 2 hours of my life. Shawshank Redemption.
Yep.
Hope is a good thing. Morgan Freeman.
Morgan Freeman.
And that opening. It's something about iconic openings. Like, when I first met Andy Dufresne, he was no bigger than a drink of water. And you're just like, why is this old black man in this bad prison?
Oh my God, Morgan! I want Morgan Freeman to narrate my life.
Oh my! And Tim woke up in the morning and took a Snapchat of Mookie. Jesus Christ! Man. I think Morgan Freeman would get sick of your crap in about 22 minutes.
Oh my God, Morgan Freeman, and then there was Tim. Tim woke up. God, I just Shawshank Redemption is such again entertaining.
Oh, so good.
So good.
I'm a dork, so Star Wars. I've seen every Star Wars movie stupid amounts of times.
No, I love Star Wars.
I saw the last one, the final one. It's Disney, so nothing's final. But I think I saw that 3 or 4 times in the theater.
Sure.
Like, they're just so good. Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade is my favorite Indiana Jones movie. And it's solely because of the story, the Holy Grail, and Sean Connery.
Yep.
He's Junior.
No.
Don't call me that. I'm Indiana. That was the dog's name. And then Sala goes, you were named after the dog? And all Harrison Ford does is go, I love that dog.
Good movie. I do.
Yeah.
I like the Indiana Jones
And then
movies.
my favorite director of all time is Quentin Tarantino. So any Quentin Tarantino movie. Pulp Fiction, Reservoir Dogs. There's a movie called Four Rooms, which is really obscure. It has Madonna and Antonio Banderas in it. And it's four... Like, it's a Tarantino movie, so they're all little vignettes.
Yep.
But it's 4, and they're all directed by different ones. He did a room. Robert Rodriguez did a room. A couple other guys did.
So I don't really have a list of my all-time favorite movies. When we were kind of talking about movies, I started to put together movies, and I noticed that a lot of them were comedies. So I said, I'm going to list out my comedies.
And that's what I want to watch. I want to laugh.
I want to laugh. Now, we all know, I've said it multiple times, I'm a crier. I newsflash, Tim cries.
If you don't cry at the end of Miracle, you don't love the United States in hockey.
Miracles. I just watched that the other night again for the 832nd time.
And cried?
Of course I did. Dude, I got stuck on a WWE movie that they put together on Page.
Oh, Fighting with My Family.
I don't know what it's called.
I saw that in the theaters, and it's so good.
And it started with The Rock and everything else. Dude, I cried at the end of that, and I'm not even a huge wrestling fan. It was a cool movie.
It was.
And,
it was a well produced movie.
It was
well acted.
So no, I like a movie that brings out my emotions.
Field of Dreams.
Love Field of Dreams, and I bawl like a baby at the end of that.
Catch.
Yes, when he's playing catch with his dad. Anything that moves me, whether it makes me laugh or cry, I'm going to watch.
Something gets an emotion out of it.
Yes, yeah. I don't want to be bored.
Right,
and that's the thing.
But it's not always funny movies with a message. Let's face it, Step Brothers is great.
Oh my God, Step Brothers. So
Will Ferrell.
I can tell you right now, my favorite comedy of all time in the history of all times, is Blazing Saddles.
Okay. Mungo like candy.
So Blazing Saddles could never, ever, in the history of evers, be produced and done now.
Oh God! Just the scene the first time you meet the sheriff.
The sheriff is, when they we won't
say it here, but look it up.
The fact is
Mel
that
Brooks.
Mel Brooks is amazing.
He's a genius.
Is a comedic genius.
Spaceballs.
Spaceballs, History of the World Part 1.
Indoor plumbing.
It's good to be the king. Okay? You start looking at that, and then you start some of the newer comedies, Step Brothers. I mean, I know it's not too new, but
The other guys.
Anchorman. Oh my God, I love I'm kind of a big deal.
Does your house smell of rich mahogany?
I have many leather-bound books.
When in Rome. Yes, continue.
I like Lamp. You start doing any, Monty Python, Quest for the Holy Grail.
I mean, there are a few, in my mind, just comedic movie writing, producing geniuses. Mel Brooks, Judd Apatow, who does all those Will Ferrell movies,
Yep.
Knocked Up, 40-Year-Old Virgin. And then you have, other guys that do those funny movies. And I'm trying to think. Harold Ramis is who I was trying to think
Harold
of.
Ramis, yeah, Stripes.
Stripes, Space,
Animal House.
Animal House, Ghostbusters.
Yeah. Yeah.
He was Egon in Ghostbusters.
Yes.
He was in Knocked Up, too. If you watch Knocked Up,
Yep.
he's Seth Rogen's dad.
Well, you take a look at the American Pie, like those movies.
Yeah, it's
like-
always a genre that leads, I think, those teen angst.
Yeah.
I mean, yours was probably what? Porky's,
Oh my
Animal
God.
House,
Porky's, Animal
Meatballs,
House. Porky's, Animal House, Meatballs, Stripes.
Revenge of the Nerds.
Revenge of the Nerds is fantastic.
But you were also in the movies like that era of Breakfast Club, Sweet 16 Candles.
16 Candles, Breakfast Club, Pretty in Pink.
Who did those? What was the guy's name that directed them?
I'm drawing a blank right off the top of
Because
my
they all
head.
supposedly took place in the same.
Fast Times at Ridgemont High, which is a little bit earlier than
But
that.
honestly, that's my favorite 80s movie is Fast Times.
Airplane. God, you
Never
can't
seen
get-
Airplane.
Oh my God, it's you start looking at Airplane. Blues Brothers is one of my favorites. Like I said, we could we could go
all
on.
day.
But we're kind of running up against the end here. So
One more thing from my wrestling friends and fans. AEW Double or Nothing was last night. If you can, watch the Stadium Stampede match. They totally and completely one-upped WWE. With Money in the Bank being at the corporate headquarters, Tony Khan said that the Stampede Stadium match, they fought all through the Jacksonville Jaguars Stadium. They started at the 50-yard line. They had intros. Chris Jericho's team wore football pads and helmet. Adam Page chases Sammy Guevara on a horse. And Matt Hardy sticks one of the, I think, Santana up in the victory bell at the end and rings it in his ear. It is absurd and it is amazing.
God.
Anybody who wants a good laugh and a good wrestling match, check it out.
that's awesome.
Yep.
That's cool.
So wrapping up, Tim, what do you got planned for this coming week? Anything exciting, new?
Working.
It's a good thing.
That's it. Until things open up, there's I work and then I'm at home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Playing any good video games? What are you playing right now? Anything?
What's funny is I'm in my stage where I'm not playing video games at the moment. I haven't played anything. I finished the Nathan Drake series again on
Great games.
on the PS4. I'll probably play a little GTA 5 just because it's fun.
Yep. Stress relief.
Stress relief. But I really don't have. I'm waiting right now for the golf game and then Tony Hawk's stuff to come out.
I just recently started playing the first Mass Effect game again, which is BioWare RPG, Xbox, lots like Knights of the Old Republic.
Yep.
Fun game, great storyline, great story game. But that's all. I'm just hanging out with the boy and teaching him things, and God help him, he's got me as a teacher.
Oh,
but
boy.
he'll get through it.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Well, he's got Uncle Tim to.
Yeah.
Uncle Tim will teach him a few things.
If he's not still terrified of you for some reason.
God, he is scared of me, and I don't understand why.
I don't know. But yeah, so that was anything
quick.
else?
I don't know. That was a quick hour that we just did here. Again, thank you to all of those who have served. Thank you to all of those who are serving. I know it's not, think of Vet Day, but you guys anyone that's served, anyone that's really given it their all for us to enjoy our freedoms, for us to enjoy the fact that we can argue with each other.
And you can listen to it.
Thank you. It means a lot.
And thank you all for listening as well. These 3 podcasts we've done.
Yeah, it's been fun.
Yeah.
I
love the feedback. Please
Yes.
keep it coming.
Please get more feedback. We did have someone ask about some interviews. We are going to do interviews. I personally did not like the way that recording sounded and how it kind of came out.
So we would rather do them in person.
In person, or I'm doing some research on to find some better ways of recording it so the quality is there.
And if you tech guys that are listening know of anything, let us know.
Feel free, because we're doing this on our own, and
we Google.
neither one of us know what the hell we're doing. But that's okay.
Right. And we thank you for listening.
Yes.
Hopefully you all by the time you're listening to this, had a safe and wonderful Memorial Day. Enjoy the time with your family. And hopefully we'll get back to bowling soon.
That's it.
Thank you, everyone, and have a great day.